Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I'm your host, Noah Love, and today we will be talking about mostly NFL. We will be previewing one college matchup because it is week 0 for that, for the college football. We will be talking about Joe Flacco being named as the starting quarterback. I will be talking about Caleb Williams, how he looked last night. I will also be talking about Jackson Dart and how he has looked to start the season. We will be talking all that and more. It's a football heavy Monday here on the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. But let's actually start with, let's actually start here with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams played a great preseason, I thought, to start against the Bills. He played two drives. He was 6 for 10, 107 yards, one touchdown as they blew out the Buffalo Bills. They blew them out 38-0. Here is my real perspective on this game. Caleb Williams looked really good. I thought he looked poised. I thought that there was a couple of throws he made, mainly to his tight ends. He made a throw to Cole Kmet uh, down the seam to start for a gain of 28. Thought that was a really good throw. Thought he also made a throw to Colston Loveland where the backers were coming up and he was just able to float it over. Thought he just played a really good two drives. It looked a lot different from last year in terms of what the offense, a lot more under center. Just Ben Johnson is basically trying to reprogram Caleb Williams, and he's just telling you, hey man, look, you don't have to go out and do all the fancy stuff. You don't have to do it. We will be creative for you. So you didn't see a lot of trying to make a playoff script. You saw it one time where he didn't even put it up for grabs. He just threw it in the dirt, which, okay, that is progression from last year. Last year, he probably would just throw it up for grabs. This year's like, no, I'm just going to pretty much dirt it. Let's get to 3rd and 5. And obviously, throws a touchdown pass to Zacchaeus. He looked very good. It was very encouraging for the Bears. And I think if you're the Chicago Bears, if Caleb Williams can play similar to this in the regular season, you're looking at a 10 win, 9, 10, 11 win football team potentially. Now, look, I will say in terms of the coverages, he won't see as vanilla of coverages as he did last night. He saw cover 1, he saw cover 2, he saw cover 3. He will see more. He will see linebackers show blitz and drop back into coverage. He'll see cover 6. He'll see cover 4. He'll see a lot more coverages than what he saw last night. But just for last night, you have to feel good about where the offense was. Ben Johnson came out in the postgame presser, said the practice leading up to this game and the actual game were the best days he had stacked all offseason, which is encouraging. Look, they're trying to rebuild this thing in Chicago. Matt Eberflus, Lou Getty, they did a horrible job. So Ben's trying to rebuild Caleb Williams' confidence. Remember, Caleb Williams, this is a guy who's supposed to be a generational talent. A lot of people touted him as that rookie QB draft class last year. Really good. So Caleb has it out in that sense. But also you have to think about it like this. I believe Luke Getty did a horrible job of giving Caleb Williams the tools to be successful. I just thought the plays he ran, the concepts he ran, obviously the O line was terrible. The revamped O line is going to help him because he will have more time to throw. Also, the run game, I believe, will help him. They didn't have a run game last year, so they kind of left him handicapped. He will have that this year for sure. And also, gotta, again, I say this again, gotta look at it this way. Ben Johnson threw a lot of things at him early in training camp to see what he could handle. He's seeing what he could handle, and that's what he's going to call week 1 through 18. I think it's going to take him about 2 years to actually learn that entire system. But I think he will be successful and I think he will thrive. Again, I know it's only week 2 of preseason. I don't want to overreact. But the way he looked last night, that was a great sign of end of year of the Bears. You should be just ecstatic. Okay, now let's go to the other rookie quarterback, the Giants. Jackson Dart has looked good in his first 2 preseason games, but mainly the one not last night, but 2 nights ago. The Giants the Giants win 31-12. He goes 14 to 16, 137, one touchdown, no interceptions. Russ played. He went 4-7, 108, no touchdowns, but he had one bad pick. Look, Jackson Dart has looked great. They're giving him stuff similar to what he did at Ole Miss. It's a lot of empty formation, um, five, five out. Just let him sling. Just let him sling the ball. Oh, his cadence is just the clap. They're not really going on to a lot. They're doing what the Commander similarly did to with Jaden Daniels, where okay, Jaden, let's give you a lot of RPOs. Let's see what you were good, a lot empty as well. Let's see what you were good at LSU. Use those strengths, and then we can work on your weaknesses. Jackson Dart has looked great. However, he should not be the starter week 1. Russell Wilson should be the starter week 1. The reason Russell Wilson should be the starter week 1 is mainly because Russell Wilson has more experience. I think Russell Wilson, truthfully, gives them the best chance to win right now. I get it. Jackson Dart has looked great. If you're a Giants fan, you should be excited for him to get on the field. But it's not like Russ is gonna throw you out of games. He'll be, especially with that defense this year. He'll be good enough to keep them in games, maybe win some games. Don't rush Jackson Dart on the field and risk his development. You don't do that. Now, obviously, if something happens to Russ and he gets injured and Dart gets thrown in there, that's a different story. But if Russ is healthy, I don't, unless Russ is starting to play really, really awful, and it's like we gotta put Dart in there, then fine. But do not rush playing Jackson Dart. You got a good thing going right here. Look, the Giants are gonna be a little bit better than expected. Look, they have Malik Neighbors into the wide receiver. They have Tyrone Tracy. What's going to keep them in a lot of games is the defense. When you look at that front four, my goodness, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence. I mean, Lord have mercy. If the Giants get a lead on somebody and they release those dogs, it's going to be a long day for you. I think the Giants are going to be a really tough out in some games. Heck, they may even get somebody. Maybe one of these contenders they play, maybe they get them this year. Who knows? But I really just think you should not rush the development of Jackson Dart. You just shouldn't. You do not rush it. But I do like the way he's looked. All right. So now moving on to this Colts quarterback battle. Joe Flacco versus Joe Flacco. We'll talk about him later. He's on the Browns. Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. There will be a starter this week. The news could come maybe while I'm recording this now. The camera is off. I will explain why that is at the end of the video. But yeah, it seems like from what I'm seeing and hearing, he's leaning to Shane Steichen and the Colts may be leaning towards Anthony Richardson. Not Richardson, Daniel. I'm all out of sorts right now. They're leading towards Daniel Jones. We will see. Obviously, I think Anthony Richardson. If it's close, I'd give it to him for these reasons. If Anthony Richardson, you have to know if he's good or if he sucks. You just have to know. You just have to know if he goes out and give him 5 weeks. So if he goes out and he plays well, okay, cool, stick with him. Maybe you have something here. But if it's similar to last year and he plays bad, then okay, now you kind of know, okay, maybe this guy really just does suck. Let's go to Daniel. And if at that point you're maybe 2-3, or if you're somehow 3-2, but if you're 3-2 even, you wouldn't make that change. But if you're at 2-3, if you're somehow 1-4, God forbid, if you're 1-4, at that point, then yes, you have to make that. You will make that change. I just think Richardson gives you a little bit more upside. Now, I have said that I think Daniel Jones is going to win the job. I still stick by that opinion. I still stick by it. I think Daniel Jones, they're going to give it to him. I think you don't pay a guy $15 million for him not to be the starting quarterback. And also, if you're not running away with it, like Richards, if you're not running away with it, I mean, it's close. It's close. And I think Shane's probably going to give Daniel Jones the benefit of the doubt. How, again, that's not how I would do it, because I think even if Daniel Jones comes in, plays well, 10 games, gets you to the playoffs, there's no, that's as best as you're going to do with Daniel Jones. That's the best. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. You may compete for the South at best with Jones, but he's not your franchise quarterback. You got to know if Anthony Richardson is your franchise quarterback, or if you're going into the draft to get somebody else or something. You have to know this. So that's why I think you should start him off rip, just to see. Give him a leash. Give him 5 weeks. See what he does. If you think he plays well, okay, let's continue to ride him. If he plays awful, okay, we got Jones right here. Richardson, you're done. It's kind of that simple. I mean, because even if they give it to Jones, I mean, I don't know where you go from here. If you're Richardson or if you're the Colts organization, if Jones wins the job, Richardson, I mean, even if you have him come in because Daniel Jones is playing bad, is that going to hurt Anthony's confidence? So, look, I don't know. This whole situation is kind of just befuddling to me. Uh, the Colts are obviously going to choose the quarterback who they think have the best chance to win. I stood by it pretty much all off season. I said Daniel Jones is probably going to win the job. I think the injury at the beginning of minicamp hurt him. I think it hurt him. And I really do think that if Richardson doesn't win that job, you can look at that as a main reason, giving Daniel Jones extra reps and everything. And you can also look at the week 1 preseason where he gets hurt with the dislocated finger, doesn't read the blitz, got to get it out of his hands. That was a minor setback as well because again he should have played more than he did in that first preseason game. But Daniel Jones had to come in again. If the Colts have seen a lot more of a sample size in game of Daniel Jones at least for this season so far than Anthony Richardson. But I think Daniel Jones wins the job, and I think Colts fans, some will be half. It will be split. Half will be happy, half won't be. It's just kind of up in the air at this point. Now, also they signed Xavier Howard today, former four-time Pro Bowl corner. Uh, like the pickup for them. Xavier, I think he can be solid. Look, the secondary, they need the secondary from last year. You couldn't get much worse. So I think obviously with the pickups of Ward, now Howard, buying them in the off season, I think they'll be a better unit. I think the defense will just be better overall, especially with Lou and Arumo in there. Now, let's go to Joe Flacco. Not a shock here. Joe Flacco has been named the Browns starting QB ahead of week one. Flacco, who has been taking the overwhelming majority of first team reps in training camp, per Daniel Oyufuzi of ESPN.com, had been treading toward the assignment, but the Browns confirmed the veteran's quarterback status as the team starter Monday. In the meantime, Kenny Pickett hamstring, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders are slated to compete for the backup slotting in advance of Cleveland's September 7th regular season opener against the Bengals. Here's how I'm going to look at this. Obviously, Flacco's got the job. Watson's on IR right now. So it's really for the backup spot. Pickett, Gabriel, Shedeur. Whoever out of those, I believe two of them is getting traded. So whoever doesn't win that backup slot is getting traded. I believe that. Now, to me, if you're asking me who's looked better of the three, well, I haven't really seen Kenny Pickett, but I just don't trust him, if I'm being completely honest. He has shown nothing to me in his NFL career that he is more than a career backup, which is very much okay. For me, I think Shedeur looked better in his one preseason game than Dylan did. I thought Dylan was efficient, but the two picks, you can't. That pick six to Makuba, that's bad. Shedeur didn't turn the ball over. So again, and I know it's a small sample size for both of them, but when you're in that QB battle and it's close, those turnovers that can really determine your fate. In terms of if you're gonna be the backup or not, the QB2, as they would say. So look, I think Shedeur should probably be the backup. I think Dylan is solid. I think somebody will like Dylan. I think Pickett should go somewhere else, but I just think Shedeur, I think he should be the guy to be the backup. I really do. When I watched that game against Carolina, that didn't look like fifth rounder to me. That looked like second rounder, maybe late first. He played really well, put the ball in tight spots, was really able to move. Dylan Gabriel is made a decent case. It looked a little bit like Tua Tagovailoa, how he has performed. Uh, but yeah, I stand by Shedeur should be this QB2, but Joe Flacco being named as the starter is not a surprise to anybody. And if that's a surprise to you as a Browns fan, you've been living under a rock. Okay, now going here to our last topic, and then I'll get into why the camera is off and all that. College football is back, sort of. It's week 0. Um, the game of the week is obviously number 22 Iowa State at number 17 Kansas State. It's a massive game to start the year. It's in Dublin. Kansas State opens up as a 3-point favorite. They Kansas State, according to FanDuel, is favored to win the league. The Big 12, with the Big 12 is crazy. I think Utah's going to win the league personally, but that's a whole different topic for another video that shall be coming out soon. But this game, to me, the key in this game, it's obviously going to be Avery Johnson in the quarterback. Avery Johnson, very good runner last year, has some issues with his throwing ability at times. It's going to be how it's just going to be how does Kansas State run the ball? That's what this is going to come down to for me. How do they run the ball? And it's a little bit the same with Iowa State. I mean, Iowa State, they have Rocco Beck, obviously, and they can throw it, but around a lot as well. But to me, how they run the ball is going to be crucial for both teams. I think the game's going to be won at the line of scrimmage. And if I'm being honest in this game, I'm probably leaning toward an Iowa State upset a little bit. To be honest, I think Kansas State will still be a really good team, but I think, man, Dublin playing in Ireland, that's tricky. This is it's a tricky game. Early on, it's a go either way game. If Kansas State wins it, I won't be shocked. If Iowa State wins it, I won't be nearly surprised. All I know is this is a ranked game in week 0. When have we ever gotten that to kick it off? So I think obviously Iowa State's gonna win, but I'm really excited for this game. Obviously, week 1 kicks off that Saturday, but man, that Thursday you've got some great games. 25th Boise State at South Florida. That to me, that's an outstanding game on that Thursday night. Nebraska at Cincinnati's an outstanding game. That Friday night, Georgia Tech at Colorado, Auburn at Baylor. Those are fantastic games to me, and we know about the Saturday slate. We don't even have to get into that. But yeah, that is college football. That's been the college football related talk. Now, let's get into the talk about the future of this channel and the future, just the future in general. Okay, so obviously, you guys know I am in college. I am still trying. I got a new camera and a new mic. I'm actually using the new mic right now to record this video, but I'm going to be using a new camera soon. I'm still trying to figure out everything with the new camera. Uh, so that's, but I needed to get just a video out, some content out. I don't want to go a long time without posting something, even if it's just as much as a YouTube short. It's been about a week since I posted anything. So I want to get this out to you guys to just let you guys know, yes, I'm still here. I'm still following. I'm not going away uh anytime soon. Hopefully this channel, I really hope to build it and to grow into something. But yeah, also I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for my background, so that's why the camera's off. I've been doing this for about a year. I like that. This is what I do. I hope I can do this full time. I want to be this channel. I kind of want it to be similar to a guy. I don't know if you guys watch him, but a guy like Josh Pate, who owns his show. He goes on the road for college football and all that. I kind of wanted to be similar to that. Obviously, he got his start on CBS, but they don't have the right to a show and everything like that. That's kind of a guy I look up to into the college football space and then into the NFL. Kind of want to be a little bit like Pat McAfee in a way. And then obviously I talk about all these sports, but I just want to make something off of this. Uh, that's why I'm not going away anytime soon. Also, I'm in college. Me and my friend do a radio show on WCRD 91.3. If you guys want to tune into that, we will get that started. Season 2 of that will be soon. But yeah, that's basically kind of the update with me. I wanted to get this video out to you guys as soon as I possibly could. The camera, obviously, you won't see the face, but this was just had to get the news out because there's been a lot that I've missed and I just could not miss anymore. Anyways, guys, this has been the latest episode of the Don't Argue with the Fact podcast. I have been your host, Noah Love. And until next time, sometime in the future, see ya.